Welcome back, fellow armchair generals, and yes, to Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11, and of course we're playing as Japan. Ohio gozaimasu, or konnichiwa, or konbanwa, wherever you may be. Whatever time it may be when you're watching, that would be. Do hear you got a comment that they really liked last episode because it was gameplay, not too much talking, so I totally understand that. It's a balance, my friends, it's a balance. But we are going to try to play. I am having fun playing this. Okay, oh, big battle. Where did this happen? Gazelle Channel lost some stuff. Okay, the Musashi group just got hit hard. Wow. Okay, Musashi survived, but most of its escorts, a couple light cruisers, remained. I'll come back up here. So this here, okay, it looks, because we didn't have air escort, I'm guessing. Because, what is that? GLO, the Glorious? And two air groups with it. It looks like that their escort went down. Okay, well, we've got the Glorious, but there looks like they're coming through here. Now, this is another battleship group, but we do have some CAG. Okay, automotive construction industry has advanced. Very good. Yeah, okay, so we've gotten through, I remember shifting a lot of stuff to other areas. A lot of leadership. I don't even have any motorized support brigades. I don't know that I do. I know I don't have any armored. I'm pretty damn sure I don't. I think I have one or two motorized support. Okay, invasion speed tactics, that would be good. And we also have the coastal battleships, the outdated ones. If that one is coming through here, I do sort of want to engage it, because I'm guessing it's, of course it went to a port. Oh, it's up here now. Okay. Well, let's head back this way with you and you. We don't need the shore bombardment. It really does help. Mentioning that, let's come out over here to Johnston Island Atoll, which we're invading. Okay, we're down to the USMC Defense Corps, or whatever it's called, for this island. Got these guys out here. A little bit risky, just a couple of destroyers escorting a bunch of Marus. And they're going to go and drop off 4 island garrisons and pick up 2 divisions and maybe head up to here with the other divisions or something. I don't know for sure. Okay, agricultural advance. Like I keep saying, we got plenty of manpower, but with various things like home front focus, which, you know, I thought we would be going there. Let's since this is up to 56, and that's 49. So that'd be what, a 7% increase in manpower per level. So if we come over here and do home front, which was, of course, my main, ouch with this is manpower loss, and supply production improvement, that's great. Provincial AA efficiency, that's good. Radar or repair rate, that's all good. So we'll switch that over to there. Sort of eat up some of the benefits of the agriculture. Still get a positive 2 overall once we get that, but balance that out. That is exactly my, if you will, concern. Okay, so we have some submarines coming out, but fortunately we've got CAGs and other stuff so that we don't hopefully lose any ships. And yeah, they're gonna win, it looks like. Okay, these guys are here now. They're pushing into there. Probably should have gone up there to get that gold. I think we have gold from some other place too, so let's check. Production. No, we don't have gold. Currently strategic resource, so we'd like the gold. Probably should have gone that way, but let's head here. They're all attacking against the big stack, so that should be more or less to our favor. Well, these guys come to here. Yeah. Gotta have escort vessels, as we see. Partially, they'll just absorb damage. Partially, they have things like extra submarine, or anti-submarine capabilities and things. Okay, they're getting hit. Yeah, Darwin to Vladivostok, you keep patrol searching there. Okay, let's see if we hit this, see what happens there. Well, let's come up here. Okay, oh, we're already here with at least a division. Okay, that is not infrastructurally sound enough. Okay, we'll wait for a few more units. They're almost there. Now we were sending. Okay, these guys come up here to Tokyo. There's at least 2 divisions there, and a few more divisions will be there right now. Okay. Hitting shift so that we select this, and the next one would be 58 division. R. So now we have division title matches the symbol, just for immersion, doesn't really matter for gameplay, but hey. Engineer, river crossing, river attack. No engineers, so no, we don't. Well, I mean that would. I mean, we have engineering support. That's one of the reasons I'm using the mixed support is they're cheaper than engineers, and you can add them. Have that support along with engineering support. these guys, so they're not good river crossers. They may be okay. You could balance it out, of course, with a river crosser. We'll give it to him. But I'm also sort of looking at, for these, I should remember that, though they may end up in Java. I gave them anti-tank to be able to deal with either American or British armor to some degree. Not that they were going to be any you know, armored division killers, but we were looking at the idea of some, and I guess we'll drop in the military police since we're having some transports come to pick up some of this. Okay, yeah, just on that, no leaders, no leaders, no leaders. We don't really have the equivalent of the SS or Waffen-SS trait types here that suppress partisans. Better to put them as leaders, so and we could just put a nameless sort of, you know, poor leader on there, but they, yeah, you know, I'm not really planning on looking at combat, so with them much. And if they're in any serious combat, because I really don't think it, okay, oh good, oh okay, good, we took out Burma, so we enforced conquer on Burma. And yes, I will have been, and I may still release it as a puppet at some point. Not planning to just yet. Okay, now we have some divisions here that are in good shape, and they're going to attack. And we have some air power here that's gotten rested up. And they're going to attack there. Yeah. Okay, hopefully that will help us out. Partially just by taking out the Burmese units out of the mix, though some of them may have reverted back to being British or something. Loaned units. Yeah, we're going to lose a bunch of provinces as they can sort of snap up things. That's fine. And over here, shift hit those two and R. Okay, now we have some decent amount of escorts. I don't know, either I'm miscalculated or something, or using, I thought I built some extra air power. I may be using some of them. So one of these CAG duties, this one's good, though it's reinforcing, and this one is under by 1. So I don't know. Are we still waiting for the pocket battleships to get down here? Is it? Oh, they're here. Okay. This is what I was looking to do here. They are. Because we'll now have a significantly better group. Let's try the Taiho in one of these. Yeah, because these are just heavy cruisers. The Yamato group. I think it has enough battleship type stuff. It has the Yamato, for God's sake, but also other Japanese and just the CVLs to try to keep from what happened when that last. Fortunately, we did not lose the. Well, 3 heavy cruisers and a pocket battleship. Versus 2 heavy cruisers and a pocket battleship. These are the CVLs, but still, yeah, let's escort them a little better. 2 pocket battleships. And well, we've got units that part of it has just been not having. Well, we have more transport, and if I wasn't trying to keep action moving, I would play a little better. But trust me, I can play slowly. Slowly, just on my own. But part of it is some of these guys are waiting, but also I don't have escorts for these guys. And especially down here, we've been running into a lot of British units, naval units, and we still see something there. Submarine or air or surface ship. So this is a bit of a risky move. We're doing it here because we do have some, because I pulled off too much of my air. So we do have some escorting stuff. But that's always sort of something of a limitation here. How is Revolt Risk doing here with spreading out some of these guys? Okay, you're here. Good. Just don't. I think I'm going to head back to here. I don't want to. I want to use these guys for their intended purpose, invasions. And we have lots of invading to do. Lots of islands, lots of places. Okay. We've won here, good, against Bhutanese that should not be out and should not hardly have an army. They did have an army, but... Okay, we are engaging some CAGs. Oh, interesting, okay. This is doing even better, and they're running out of support. Okay, yes, we're down here to grab up this and all but one of these guys. Load them on board ship and go to here. Again, these are risky moves, no rebase. And that'll leave them with 1 island garrison here. Oh, and we have to check that. Supplies. We need supplies coming to these 2. Palmyra, which I thought was in the Middle East, and Jarvis Island. Jarvis was a British admiral. Not sure that that's who this is named after. Could be, though. We're just running right out of Tokyo. Okay, there's Jarvis Island down there at the bottom, and another one. Palmyra. There we go. Yeah, that's the weakness of this sort of strategy. Both sides felt it. Need to supply all these little islands. Okay, we've got the HMS Sussex taken down out here by this group as it was rebasing. Very good. That's the Thai force out there moving around. Okay, Johnston Atoll. Atoll we've won. Spotted a convoy and the Battle of Lahi. Okay, cool. Well, keep moving forward, everybody else, too. Keep advancing. Good, they're jumping some CAGs that are, and other stuff that are barely organized. That was sort of some of the thought, hopefully, behind some of this. Okay, and the Buffalo, named after the city of Buffalo, I'm sure. Here off the Atoll. Okay, that's where the battle happened. No wonder why it isn't jumping to it. Cruisers are named after cities in the American Convention. Battleships are states. I know I said this before, and I know many of you will know this, but not everyone does. Okay, so we are engaging CAGs. Oh wow, these guys have been really hit hard moving through here. Probably by some of those CAGs. Let's control here. Okay, we have the HMS Victorious and the HMS Formidable out here. Let's naval strike this as fast as we can. Oh, what was that we got? Okay, anti-tank upgrade. Yeah, let's do this. We're just switching that over to there. Now, how badly did that? Ooh, wow, okay, so we've got a bit scraped up there. Down to 2% on that guy. Well, you know, let's stop and go back to port. I really don't need to lose 2% or anybody else. Oh, why do you guys have no order? Well, hunt a little closer in. Hunt in this area, because I want you to, they're probably right there, so hunt for these guys. Don't know where they're basing out. Well, I guess they were on the carrier, but battleship there, okay. Well, let's do a, no, wrong place then. No, that's the right place. Okay, port strike. Oh, 2 battleships. St. Andrew and the St. George. Okay, we've won the Battle of Johnston Island. Very good. So that basically, we're gonna fight the escaping ships. Oh, the Enterprise is coming out too. Well, we got the Venom and a submarine, it looks like, and there's still more to try to come out here. Okay, and we have some friends that showed up. Okay. Let's patrol around here and look for the Enterprise. See if we can find it. Maybe. Or at least some submarines or something. Okay, 3 submarine groups down. Must have had a lot. Oh, bunch more military police units. Those will be needed. Well, we've been taking a fairly big hit, though we have more coming. Partially just because these are faster to build and cheaper to build. We're going to do some of those, but we're also going to do more. These are destroyer escorts. These are labeled, sometimes called frigates. Torpedo boats are about the size of corvettes. Now, the primary user and producer of corvettes in World War II, Corvette in the modern parlance, the modern terms, is about the smallest thing that's really a ship, as opposed to like a motor torpedo boat. This is called a torpedo boat. Torpedo boats, as opposed to motor torpedo boats here, well, these, you know, like PT boats, you know, patrol torpedo is what PT stands for. The U.S. likes to make terms awkward and putting the most important element last in its nomenclature, so that see, you got to understand this. The U.S. Army likes to have it so that the most important bit of information is the last you'll hear, so that you have to get through a bunch of gobbledygook and hopefully die or something in the process, like pass me some of that, the caliber 50 pop, caliber pop, and get shot, as opposed to 50 cal ammo. You know, because the important thing is the caliber. You know what caliber is, not that it's caliber 50 ammo. And so, but the U.S. Army likes to do this, and God, I don't know other than it just wants to be stupid, and it still does it. So, but it works. Well, does it? Yeah. Well, whatever. But is that right? Patrol torpedo as opposed to TP boat. You know, torpedo patrol boat. But it has torpedoes. So these things showed up right around the turn of the 19th century, before World War I. Actually sort of showed up before, I think, destroyers did. Because before that sort of nomenclature, you sort of had frigates. What really sort of makes destroyers is, in my opinion, is that they are well gunned, you know, a 4 or 5 inch type guns, where the and having a goodly amount of torpedoes. Let's just say 8 to 12 torpedoes roughly on board or something. Where or just torpedo boats were early attempts, and some were as small as, or getting as small as like later motor torpedo boats, but torpedo boats were just the idea of, hey, we've got these newfangled torpedoes, let's put them on some fast boats and drive them towards the enemy and you can launch them, kind of thing, as opposed to other means, but really to make out a ship, it was the destroyers. Destroyer escorts or frigates. But size class, corvettes are about the same size as torpedo boats, but corvettes don't have, at least in World War II sense, don't have torpedoes. I'm sure you may be able to find something categorized as a corvette that did, but mostly what we're talking about are Canadian built. It was one of the larger navies in numbers of ships in World War II. One of the smaller navies in tonnage still, because it didn't really have many big ships. But it built, partially because it had lots of wood up in Canada, and they like to build some of these boats out of wood, some of the corvettes and such, out of wooden hulls. Partially from minesweepers too, I think, but I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure for the minesweepers they were building them out of wooden to keep the magnetic signatures lower. They still had engines and things, so, and they still had degaussing or whatever around them to try to minimize their magnetic fields. But so a lot of that is built fast, and they had some, and they built a lot more smaller shipyards that could build things quickly, and so they built a lot of these corvettes that were basically very light anti-submarine vessels. That's sort of what the destroyer escorts are in American terms. Is that the U.S. I don't think categorized anything as a corvette, and maybe larger corvettes might sort of fit this frigate status here. Frigates have sort of come back into navies just because navies got really small after World War II. The term something smaller than a destroyer, but still a ship. And often frigates still, well, even smaller stuff had surface-to-surface missiles, you know, exocets and harpoon missiles and that kind of thing. But so these are small destroyers, generally speaking, that are again a bit more, you know. See here again, the U.S. They're destroyer escorts. What's the important word in it? The second one, escort, in that they're designed to escort convoys. So they're not designed to shore bombard. They're not designed to engage other surface vessels, because when most of them were built, the Germans really didn't have much in the way of surface vessels. And oh, they still have the Tirpitz somewhere. Okay, yeah, well, other than having some torpedoes on it that they may or may not have had, you're not really going to engage a big surface vessel. So they're set up to engage submarines. So they're bigger than corvettes. But so we're building some of those. But we're also going to build some proper destroyers to replace. And we have DEs coming here. I'm hoping, and I haven't really, I guess we could look, which does matter. Not speed, range. Okay, distance. That matters. 10,000. Or 1,000 through 30, 15. So these are longer range, and that's sort of what the main reason well, actually, seeing here now, maybe I should have done some of these, because I was just presuming they were going to have the range to go transatlantic back and forth. But these guys actually have longer range. Just want something to be able to escort, but we'll see. But yeah, I think these are important builds. So is the military police. Keeps revolt risk down and get some more resources out of our conquered possessions. That's probably that carrier group. Okay, major defeat. Division shattered. Where? Okay, they've been pushing into there. Yeah, I knew they were doing that. Didn't know that they were going to shatter my division. And we have here, yeah, a bunch of returned divisions. Well, with all of that heavy activity, we're going to move these guys here on. Well, that's too many. We'll take the other three, see if that's enough. Okay, there we go. We can fit those on board. Ooh, that's, well, I think they've left the area. Come back to here. Rebase to here. Okay, so these guys, they're gonna get repaired. Yeah, we're gonna shift all these over. Okay, so now those are basically there to escort the transports, which we're gonna come over here and pick up some these divisions. Yeah, my Burma strategy. Well, novelty shells, okay. Yeah, patrol, shadowing, good. We are going to keep pushing here, so long as we can push well up here. But otherwise, I'm mostly looking at defensive with these guys here. We still got plenty of units. They just sort of got to take their time in getting up here. Let's see, looking for, well, no, not really anymore. We're down there fighting in the mountains, so there will be more in the time, but okay, once these guys get here, we'll start pushing. We're going to keep pushing where we can, otherwise we're going to be a defensive, and he's going to stop. That was mostly to try to get it down to just one division attacking here. Okay, well, we're here now. No infrastructure there, so yeah. Keep pushing along the coast. Slow but surely. Good. Okay. And let's see, I guess the next one is the 60th, and that maybe the last one we have a specialty headquarters for currently. Yeah, we'll use the battle expert on something else. Still no. Okay, well. Well, let's do a level 2 river engineering to help that. Okay, cool. We are continuing our good works out here, it looks like. Okay, King George V is lost, and the sinking of the Potero del Llano. Okay, so that basically we end up having Mexico as an enemy there. Not instantly, very soon. Okay, the American base on Johnston Atoll has been captured. This victory will provide our forces with necessary staging points for raids into the American homeland. Great. Now we are at about a 90% chance of getting a good outcome, so I'm going to presume that that's what we'll get. I think it's revolt risk downtime still. Probably that for the rest of the game. Okay, build Japanese amphibious tanks. Unlike other countries, I think I can say this almost entirely. Well, the Germans did some that had floats. Yeah, they did had some that had floats. So yeah, so the Germans did also do this, but Japan's main attempt to make amphibious tanks was to build a tank that truly had good boat properties. And like I say, the Germans had some floats that would attach to some of their tanks. Not picturing anybody else sort of doing it. The Americans had those Shermans that had the extra high canvas or whatever screens that would come up, and when they were used right in D-Day at the right conditions, they worked well. When they sort of where they got launched and then where they were trying to drive, that was like into the waves or something, or across the waves, maybe it was, they all sunk and lost a bunch of crews. Some got out, I think, but lost a bunch of crews. So it was semi-successful. Like I say, I think of the two main launches of amphibious tanks, because I think there was just two at D-Day. One group got ashore almost either entirely or almost entirely. The other group, I think, all got lost. So conditions. But like I say, the Japanese were looking to make something that was very boat-like. So they had a lot of extra pieces on the tank that I don't know how hard it is, but they would all sort of come off. And I think even to the point, I'm not absolutely sure, but it looks like back here, I know that may actually have the engine in one of these float pieces. So sort of like you get ashore and, I don't know, pull pins or unscrew things, or I don't know, at some point, meaning they can drive with all the stuff on the tracks are below there. But it's, the idea is you come ashore, you get, after you're ashore some moments, you know, no longer being shot at or something, you get rid of all this extra flotation junk, and then you're just being a tank. Don't know how heavily armored it was. Okay, as early as 1928, the Japanese Army had been developing and testing amphibious tanks and created several experimental models such as the SR-2 type blah 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 blah, which never made it off the drawing board or produced only one of the kind prototypes. 1940, the Navy took over development of amphibious vehicles, and 2 years later came up with Type 2 KIMI, or whatever, was designed by the Navy Special Navy Landing Force for amphibious attacks on Pacific Islands without adequate port facilities or various special operation missions. Okay. Okay. We'll do that. The Fall of Leningrad. Let's see, how far done are these? Not done at all. Okay, we'll still find a use for them. Unfortunately, we still have to sort of pay for them, but whatever. So they've got Leningrad. Looks like sort of Hungarian units got Leningrad. Well, this has so far been interesting. Pretty soon we should be seeing... Oh, yeah, more off the Johnston Atoll. Sunk submarines. And hopefully, yes, you guys have showed up. Okay. Get on board. Actually, I'm going to skip Jarvis Island for the moment. I know I sent out supply convoys, but the main reason I'm skipping it for the moment is that none of these have air bases. So they are useful in that if the Americans take them, they could then use them to invade deeper. So yes, they should be held, but unlike here, don't have air bases, and I should build some, but right now, partly the reason I don't is I don't want to build them and then just gift them to the Americans if they take them, because all of our air is concentrated here. Well, not all here, but a bunch of it, some of it's up here, which I think we're going to shift to here very soon. Well, might as well do that now. I know we're overstressing the air base, but hopefully these guys are well reinforced and now. The reason I don't grab my higher command idea from the headquarters is because I'm specifically wanting units just here, and there's a bunch of others that are currently inactive, and I have to sort that out. Okay. Okay, we have lost the effects of Pacific Anvil and got Pacific Steamroller. So, an additional 1% on manpower, additional 1% on ICs, additional 1% on all the rest of the things. Well, no more supply throughput, I guess. Okay, air-launched torpedoes have advanced. Very good. Under bomb? Yeah, and we'll stop that. Hopefully for the rest of the game. Because hopefully we'll be done before then. We will have achieved victory before 45. Don't know if we'll get before 43. Well, no, we will. We won't be before 43. And maybe this will go longer. Oh, we could do divisions again. Wow, I should have been doing this a long time ago. And Rodney is lost. Okay, news and politics, great. No, we're going to skip that one, and we're going to take that one. Come on. Okay, guys, air intercept this region. Get out there and anything that's moving around in the air, attack it. They're back from their invasion. Okay, now grab these up and one garrison. But I just think it's more important to garrison these, and I want to free up the divisions for something else. Okay, so we got news and politics up, so that's great from earlier. Raiders or early formations. Okay, good, nice image. No, it's on the map. Do we still have the other? Yes, there we go. I think these are all going to form into something of a nice division. Let's should tell me there, shouldn't it? Airborne engineers. Looking to see, does it say if it's air droppable, air mobile here? Just looking to know. I know this one is. What I'm just looking to see where I can determine that. Well, let's look here at these guys. Yeah, HQs arcs. I thought so, but I just wanted to make sure. So I'm going to give one of these HQs here to form up, give them combined arms, especially now that we have artillery and everything else. Okay, so good. That's even better of a unit. Okay, so, well, you need a promotion. Let's see what we can do here. Will these go on the right? Yes, they went on the right group. Okay, that is good. Let's see if we can throw on an HQ, or core HQ for them. And will these fit? Yes, they'll fit. Okay, so we have maybe not enough, but some air. Okay, we're gonna come down here with you guys, rebase. Just because of all the escorts and air operations here. Okay, you can stop. You can stop because you got a guy down to 1% or 0%. They're at 27%. Well, I still want some operations. So, air intercept this region. And I think we have fighters over here. Yes, okay, they're still air intercepting. And they're still air intercepting, good. And up. Here, thought we still had, yeah, we do. Air superiority. Now I want to do air intercept. Go out and find trouble once it, or get trouble once it comes up. Okay, well, let's push on the HQ. Okay, good. Some of those guys will be there in a reasonable amount of time. Others, it'll take a while. Okay, let's go for the port. See if we can take the port now. Okay, type Hyoteki. Okay, this submarine. The submarines were each armed with two 450mm torpedoes and muzzle-loading torpedoes, one above the other in the port bow. Port is on the side. Well, it doesn't matter. In the bow. In the Pearl Harbor attack, the specially designed Type 97 torpedo was used, but the problem with the oxygen flask meant that all later attacks used a different torpedo. Some have stated that a version of the Type 91 torpedo designed for aircraft launching was used, but others indicate the Type 97 torpedo was a modified Type 98, otherwise known as the Type 97 Special. There is no definitive information that the Type 91 was used. The Type 98 was later supplemented by the Type 2 torpedo. There was also demolition charges, which it has been suggested was large enough to enable the submarine to be used as a suicide weapon, but there is no evidence that it was ever used as one. Okay, so launch them. 5 manpower supply. I'm so reluctant to do this. Okay, we'll do this. I hope they're not. If they're in the production queue, I'll be mad at myself for doing that, because they are. Okay, it looks like here. Okay. Nope. Okay, we got these guys. Let's say commentary on this. They're a good idea. Mini submarines, midget submarines, whatever you want to call them. They are a good idea. Their execution wasn't always very good, though. The British did very well with theirs in going after the Tirpitz, but none of them made it back, but some of the crews made it out alive. The Italian did make some, but I really quite honestly haven't read about them. I've read much more about their frogmen on sort of human torpedoes. Basically, just they're not torpedoes that you ride into like kamikaze torpedoes. They're just a torpedo-like thing that has a, is designed to go very slowly, like 5 knots or something, or less. You go too fast, you're just going so fast, the water just rips the masks off your face and you just can't function. You have to get inside of something. But they were designed to sort of get into ports and place limpet mines. They did very well. Now, of course, the Italians were working in the Mediterranean waters where it's particularly warm and it works well. Now, of course, the Japanese were also in that kind of realm for much of the war. Japan, what they did, of course, is mount theirs on larger submarines, get them in the region of like Pearl Harbor, and then release the smaller ones, and the smaller ones went in. Now, Pearl Harbor, if you don't know, it's a very, very narrow harbor. You can see here. You have to come in through here. This is the only way in. This is also a very dangerous thing, because if you sink a ship here, these ships can't move. And that isn't necessarily a good thing. And it's not easy to just get a ship out of the way, because if you start demolition charging it up, you know, it depends on the ship. If it's a destroyer or something small, yeah, probably the wreckage will go to the bottom of the channel, and the big things will be able to get in and out. But if something's sort of kind of big, you're sort of stuck. And since if you don't have lots of naval guns defending the port, you can park other ships out at sea and still bombard. Now, of course, these guys can shoot out, but stationary targets are much easier to hit than moving targets. And of course, you can air attack into here. And again, it's better to get the carriers and battleships out in the ocean. But the idea is to have them in there so that they're not getting hit by a surprise attack, because it wears crews down to constantly have them at sea. So you want a protected port. If there were 2 entrances to this, it'd be near ideal, because more than likely they're not going to get an easy way to block both. But we believe I believe, some other people believe, one of the midget submarines gets into Pearl Harbor. There is some photographic evidence of a possible midget submarine in some of the footage taken on the Pearl Harbor attacks. But it could just be air-launched torpedoes hitting the water and moving around. From the really nice hour-long or whatever special I saw on it that they were trying to do, they were trying to prove or recreate the situation, and with models that were big, not full scale, but large scale models. Try to simulate the thing and then take some photographs of it to see if it was what they were, because it's not clear. The first shots was a U.S. destroyer. I think it was a destroyer. It was a small ship, but I'm pretty sure it was a destroyer, spotting one of the submarines trying to get into Pearl Harbor, and they effectively sink it by putting some holes into it. You know, submarines can't go down if they have big holes in them. So it wasn't a very successful attack because of this design of the port. Now, there were also midget submarine attacks into Australia and New Zealand, which I believe were much more successful. And the greatest success of midget submarines is that they have some success and the enemy knows they exist. And that then means the enemy has to go through great lengths in putting torpedo nets and booms across, with torpedo nets hanging below them across port entrances to make it, you know, so that they can't get into ports. And so you have all this extra effort going into stopping attacks by them. So you build some, you know, midget submarines, you use them somewhere sometimes, and then you have a massive reaction. I just see, well, you know, I don't range, and the water coming in and out of here, the currents are pretty rough, but if you could release some and get them into San Francisco, and then especially if they can get out, because it's pretty big and reasonably deep in parts, you know, if you could launch a few of these against some ports, attacks here and, you know, San Diego, I don't know, because none of these really have a port, really, but obviously here, you know, get under the Golden Gate Bridge, and then you sink some stuff, and then everybody panics, and you have to do the reaction. So had you used them well, a little bit better than the Japanese did, because see, again, the Japanese Navy is so focused on hitting enemy warships. I'm not going to quite say they're useless, but enemy warships are almost useless without transports. They can't function very far away from home for very long because they need fuel, food, ammunition, many other little things. And so, you know, and you go, well, you could shore bombard with, you know, a battleship. Yeah, okay, go shore bombard along Japanese coast. What does that get you? You know, if they're that coming in there, then you start flying a bunch of aircraft. Where they really were effective in shore bombarding, as we see, is with naval invasions. Well, what do naval invasions need? Transports. So, yes, and if you have bases close enough, you can use your ships to deny the enemy the use of the waters. You know, that's part of their use, is to deny use of the enemy of the waters. But the other part is to allow them to use the water. So Japan should have realized that because they had the ability to, because they did a little bit, but if they had really stepped up a good commerce raiding strategy with their submarines, they could have, I think, because there already was some, because the U.S. was looking at the Atlantic, and Admiral King out there running that Battle of Atlantic against German submarines. They were sort of like, yeah, the Japanese could do this too, and oh yeah, we're doing this to the Japanese. We're sure, yes, submarines. If you see a carrier and you could line up and sink a carrier, wonderful. And of course, they did that at least once. The U.S. sunk the Taiho, basically, with you know, a good functioning carrier sinks the Taiho. Not just, oh, there's a limping carrier home and it's trying to get home and it may just be scrapped, it may not survive, being towed back and a submarine sinks it. That's happened too. Thinking of the Japanese when they did that, but to the U.S. But, you know, taking out a good functioning carrier, the Taiho gets it. That way. So yeah, certainly, if you get the chance, you sink a carrier. But the main thing the U.S. were looking at was to sink all the transports. And the Japanese and the worst job that a Japanese captain could get would be escorting convoys. He wanted to be out, you know, a naval captain wanted to be out engaging the enemy. So you had all the bad officers in all the bad escorts, you know, converted vessels or outdated vessels, you know, doing convoy escort, since that's your most important ships you have for Japan, you should have had your best escorts escorting convoys. And so the U.S. is doing it too, so the U.S. presumes that if they don't take good precautions, they will have lots of losses. And I think the U.S. was quite surprised by how little the Japanese did anti-commerce warfare, if you will. But had they done some of that stuff, man, they could have got the U.S. reacting. And it wasn't until like late war that they get the I-400 and the I-401 into service with their planes, and well, we want to take out this. And then again, they're almost more looking at stopping capital ships from moving through here. They just never got it to the end, and that's sort of why Japan loses the war. Yeah, okay. Well, on that note, we're going to end this episode here. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And, of course, I really love hearing your questions, comments, suggestions, corrections. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron. Okay.